everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bello-Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bello-Braddock. And today, new Disney World ticket pricing, Disney Cruise Line acquisitions, and more.
Yeah, this ticket pricing has been sort of the top story recently, but really, it doesn't affect the Disney traveler, I don't think, at all. And that is because it is only for single-day, one-day tickets. So most, I'm going to go on a limb.
That's for one day?
Yeah, I'm going to, that's
I thought that was a week pass.
No, those are daily passes. So Disney announced that starting December 8th, they're going to introduce park-specific pricing. It's sort of like surge pricing, right? So certain parks will cost more.
Oh, Disney's becoming Ticketmaster.
And so each park has its own pricing schedule. It's not all the same anymore. But this only applies right now to one day, one park tickets. So basically, if you're walking up to go to a park on a certain day, well, you can't really you can't walk up anymore.
If you're planning 6 months in advance to go to one park on a certain day, this is for you.
It's a bit of a pain, but most Disney travelers will buy a 5-day pass or something. This doesn't affect that at all. So if nothing changes, if you buy multi-day tickets, you still have to do your park pass reservations the same way you are now. But if you're a local or if you're visiting somewhere else in Florida and you just want to go to a Disney park for one day, this will affect you. And so what they're doing is they have pricing ranges for each park. I guess the only good part that they had to figure out was if you buy a certain park that day, it will automatically give you a park reservation. So you don't have to go check, can I get in? So basically I'm assuming that if it's available to buy, that means the park pass is also available because they're bundling it. So you don't have to go book a park.
I would think if you bought a pass for a certain park, that park would have availability.
Yeah, so
you'd think that would be a correlation, but
and then also there's going to be new pricing that they haven't announced yet for Park Hopper and Park Hopper Plus if you want an add-on for those days, but then that would be buying 2 parks. So I don't understand how this is going to, let's just take a step back here and say for 45 years, we had no problems virtually, except busy periods during Christmas.
And look at the one-day prices.
Like, what the heck are they ever since they started tinkering with the stuff for COVID that made sense, Park Pass for COVID. Now, it's just a gigantic mess, and it's getting worse.
Okay, now it's a way for Disney to make more money.
Yeah, but it's so confusing. They could just raise prices before. They don't, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, but they want to raise prices without you knowing they raise prices.
Yeah.
But we know Disney.
Anyway, so this is really, don't worry about the new pricing news. The bottom line is, don't worry about the new pricing news unless you're buying a one-day ticket. If you're going on a vacation, you're buying 5 days. It's whatever we've been doing for the last couple of years now. And they have annual pass pricing increases too, but they're not selling annual passes, so they might soon. The Disneyland, as you know, you may have heard, they started reselling them. Like it lasted a day and then they stopped. They're all sold out again.
Okay, so fingers crossed Disney World starts it and we get on that computer.
Yeah, but it'll be, so I don't know. I'm just ignoring this pricing because it's a moot point. They're not for sale. It's not renewal pricing either. It's just
they are for sale. It's just they're sold out. Everyone wants them
They're
back.
raising but we never had a problem with passes selling out. We never had a problem with going to parks. We never had a problem with anything ever except Christmas week, which was understandable.
Okay, here's my question. Are parks still at limited capacity?
Who knows, right?
Because if why? Because no other COVID rules are in effect.
I think they say they are, but are they really?
And
I
if
don't
not,
think so.
Then where's the problem? Like, are just that many more people coming to Disney than they were pre-COVID?
They've created their own problems.
Because I don't understand how every single park is like selling out unless it's Christmas.
Yeah, so
I really don't understand.
So you can ignore this pricing. And anyway, they're roughly the same. Like, do you want to go through the quick range of what each park costs?
Yeah, so Animal Kingdom ranges from $109 to $159, which is pretty much the same range as today, I think. And Hollywood Studios is $124 to $179, and Epcot is $114 to $179, and Magic Kingdom, being the most expensive as always, is $124 to $189, and $189 will likely be Christmas to New Year's around that time.
Yeah, so if you're planning on doing I don't even know if you can get one. Some of those days might even be sold out already.
I'm sure they are. I don't know who would.
Anyway, so that's what the whole pricing story is about. It really affects since we speak to Disney travelers typically who are going on vacation for a week or 5 days or a weekend or whatever it is, this will not apply to you generally. All right. Another thing they've done, another change, has to do with Disney dining. This one's not bad. We never do this, but hey, it gives you some flexibility.
So Disney has now added a same-day cancellation policy, and you can cancel dining reservations up to 2 hours before your meal without being charged the cancellation fee that they used to.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that.
And you can do it through either the My Disney Experience app or on the website at disneyworld.com. You have to do it 2 hours at least before, and they won't cancel you. 2 hours is 2 hours is pretty good.
Yeah, I think you'll know within 2 hours if you're not gonna.
So this is a tip here. This gives you even more reason now to do last minute checks for that really hard reservation you can't get. We always just keep checking when we're on site, and we get them a lot. There's going to be even more of them now
because last minute cancellations.
So within that 2 hour window, especially, start checking the app to see if you can get into that restaurant you couldn't get into.
However, there are some exceptions. This does not apply for all restaurants.
Yes, there are a few that do it differently and will continue to do it differently.
Mostly the ones I want to go to. But anyways, this does not apply to the Hoop-de-Doo Review, Victoria and Albert's, and also Monsieur Paul, and each of these will have their own cancellation policy.
Yeah, they all have their own dining cancellation policies. And if you don't do it, you know what? The price is really not bad. If you miss your cancellation, they're going to charge you $10 per person.
Yeah, you know what? That's less than I thought.
I mean, it's money you could spend on something else, but it's not like they're charging you $250 or whatever the bill would have been. All right, so that's the cancellation policy. So you can, the moral for me here is, hey, check dining 2 hours before. If you hey, can we get into Cinderella's Royal Table or wherever you want to go?
No, because you just might be able to.
Disney Cruise Line bought a half-built ship.
So Disney will be working with the Meyer Werft Shipbuilding Company to complete the cruise ship, and it was previously known as the Global Dream in Germany, and the ship will be renamed under Disney's Imagineers.
Yeah, I guess they can't use Disney Dream because that already exists.
Yeah.
So that's sort of interesting. They got a good deal on a ship that was half-built, so they just have to Disneyfy it. Yeah. This is cool because it's going to stay, I'm assuming, in Europe or somewhere overseas. It will not have North America as a base. So they're going to now start doing Disney cruises out of Europe, which is pretty cool.
I think this will open in 2025. So
yeah, 2025.
Not too far off, actually.
So that's pretty good. Mickey's Toontown Disneyland Park, we now have a date.
Yes, it is
set the new year.
It is set to reopen on March 8th of 2023, so right around spring break. If you're lucky and have a little bit of a later one, you'll probably be able to stop by.
There is some pretty cool new stuff there. Goofy's How to Play Yard is a sound garden where kids can discover new ways to make noise.
Oh, every parent's dream.
Well, if you're going to do it at Disneyland.
True.
And then there's a new clubhouse there, an elevated clubhouse. And inside there, this one's interesting because I don't know if it's fake or if it's real. And they just have those sort of artist renderings, so it's hard to see. Mm-hmm. An interactive candy-making contraption, because it's Goofy.
Ooh.
It starts outside. It drips honey from a beehive into a chute, and colorful drops around, goes through the house. And it says junior candy makers will help Goofy make the candy. So your kids can take part.
Do I count as a junior candy maker?
I think you might be able to squeeze in.
I think it should be under 18. That's the rule, to be honest. And next, they have Donald's Boats, and that will be urged right at the end of the duck pond of Goofy's area, and they can enjoy like a little splash because it gets very hot. And then also, there is a Chippendale's Gadget Coaster, which is kind of like a barnstormer little thing, a tiny coaster for your tiny helpers. And then lastly, Mickey and Minnie's houses are available for visit because it wouldn't be Toontown without them.
And there will be meet and greets there. If you're lucky, they'll be there when you're there.
Yes, fingers crossed.
All right, let's go back to Walt Disney World for Christmas. We're coming up to our next visit for the holiday season, and there are some festive PhotoPass lenses.
Yes, there are new PhotoPass lenses that are coming out and in front of a Christmas tree at EPCOT, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Disney Springs. So pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, and they have both sort of the magic shots, where things appear that you don't see, but also props, like sometimes they give you something to hold. So they're going to have Christmassy stuff like that, holiday festive things. I
mean, if you're not someone who likes to buy yearly branded merch, maybe you take a photo with your merch. It's a lot cheaper and it still marks your visit with a year.
And then they really will be everywhere. Just keep an eye out.
Trust me,
some of the examples are on the bridge leading from Oasis to Discovery Island at Animal Kingdom, on Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard at Hollywood Studios, at all World Celebration locations at EPCOT, at the PhotoPass Studios at Disney Springs and Magic Kingdom Park, and the PhotoPass studio inside Sir Mickey's on Main Street. Well, I wouldn't say, and on Main Street, USA. That makes sense because Sir Mickey's technically is behind the castle.
Yes, on a very technicality, it is not on Main Street.
Yeah, so...
And I'm sure there will be plenty more.
You know, we always buy Memory Maker. I think it's worth it. I recommend it to people. And even though we don't always use it to the max, it's good to just capture those pictures.
Especially if it's a Christmas trip.
Yeah. But we buy it all the time. I like it.
Yeah, we do.
It just makes it easier to get pictures of all of us.
Because then they're like good photos and not just,
Usually. It depends on the photographer.
Yeah.
They're not all equal.
And iPhone cameras are getting a lot better, but still I think it's just a lot quicker. Just scan your magic band and there you go.
The next news item, before we get into our foodie guide, as we told you last week, we knew one would come for EPCOT Festival of the Holidays, but the next item caused a bit of controversy. It's funny.
Yes. So there is a new cake bake shop coming to Disney's Boardwalk in 2023, and this will replace the ESPN Club, and it is a table service restaurant and bakery.
Yeah, so they took away the bakery and they opened the Boardwalk Deli. So a bunch of people were upset. Oh, I can't get my bakery baked goods anymore, although they do have some baked goods there, but in the morning. So now they've announced they're taking away the ESPN Club, which was really underutilized right at the beginning of the Boardwalk if you're coming from the Yacht and Beach Club area. And they're turning it into I don't know how a bakery is going to be a table service. I don't know. I don't understand exactly how it's going to work.
Table service baked goods.
But there's also takeout. So anyway, it sounds like
understand.
you'll still be able to get your morning baguette or whatever it is you want to get from the bakery.
So never fear.
But then suddenly, everybody's going, total Disney people, listen, we love our crowd here, but take something away that you really didn't care about before, and it's, what? ESPN is leaving. Oh, how could you replace? But nobody went there.
You know what?
It was never that busy when I went.
At least they're not theming this bakery as one of their movies. You know what? That's what I take away from this.
Yeah, it is a celebrity chef named, as I recall, so we'll be watching for that. I don't have that in my notes in front of me, but more on the bakery to come. Did they give an opening date?
Just 2023.
Just 2023. All right. And finally, as we always do, there is a full foodie guide to the International Festival of the Holidays at EPCOT.
Yes.
But we have gone through, I certainly have, and picked out some favorites. So let me just run through those quickly to end the show. But check our show notes, check our blog post, and you will find the complete list of what to find everywhere at EPCOT. So, Melikalikimaka, the little Hawaii one near the port of entry as soon as you come to World Showcase. I recommend the Kalua pork. Kalua, not Kalua the drink, but Kalua, which is a Hawaiian way of cooking the pork with Okinawa sweet potatoes and mango salad. Next on my list, I have from the Canada Yukon Holiday Kitchen, the beef bourguignon with crushed potatoes. Looks great. The beef there is always delicious.
Yeah, and also at the Canada Pavilion, the frozen coffee. I'm always interested in trying a frozen beverage because it's not just iced coffee, it's frozen coffee.
I thought you were going to go for the Snickers Doodle cookie.
No, I don't know what that means, and it scares me.
It's on the cookie stroll,
which
we talked about in
I'll have to try it anyways.
Over at Bavaria in Germany. You know, I'm not a big cookie guy, but the Linzer cookie, also on the cookie stroll, looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like we will just be trying the cookie stroll at this point, to be honest with you.
And then at the Jew Refreshment Outpost, there is a peanut stew with sweet potatoes, mustard greens, and roasted peanuts. It looks pretty good. And hey, it's plant-based and gluten and wheat-free.
And I want to go at the same shop, Dole Whip Raspberry, because anything that's not Dole Whip line, I want to try.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting flavor, Dole Whip Raspberry. Now, over at the Japan area at the Shiwasu Holiday Kitchen. Now, I don't eat sushi, okay? But I did this one just on looks. There's a sushi tree. Very festive, sort of Christmas tree looking sushi rolls with crab meat and cream cheese topped with tempura, ikura salmon roe, and spicy mayonnaise. I might like the spicy mayo. But anyway, I did this just for aesthetics. But if you like sushi, maybe you want to check it out.
If you don't eat it, Mom will.
And then finally for me in Mexico, there is a giant tostada de barbacoa. So that's braised barbacoa beef on a giant tostada with chipotle black bean puree, salsa verde, queso cotija, crema mexicana, and a pickled onion. Also gluten and wheat-free. So there you go.
Yeah, and there is a lot of different peppermint drinks just floating around if you're interested in that. I will just specifically mention the peppermint funnel cake as well at the American Adventure Pavilion, which is just a mini funnel cake topped with peppermint ice cream, chocolate whipped cream, and crushed peppermint. Not for me, but if you like peppermint, it sounds pretty good.
So listen, EPCOT at the holidays is the place to be if you want
Well.
food variety. If you want food variety. You have to let me finish the sentence.
Yeah, I do like food.
All right, so that is the news this week. You are all caught up. Thank you for listening. As always, join us online on social media at 1923 Main Street. Have a magical day.
Bye-bye.